and let me have start the second topic is network security. In this network security, we'll have focus on the firewalls rules and the NID, that is network intrusion detection. And under that NID, mainly focus what is the purpose and the implementation of NID in the cloud, right? So for today, we'll be mainly focused on the firewalls rules, and tomorrow we'll be focused on NID, right? So come to this network security. So till now we'll talk about the data security, the first part, data. Now it is the next part is network. Now how we are going to provide the security for the network. Network is not like router or any other. So it is providing security to the network in the sense we have already the 7 layers in the OSI. The third layer from the bottom of third layer is the network security. Under that network security, we are going to using the different protocols. The protocol has to take care of the security point where in this one, in this network, how good you are going to provide it. Whenever any the miscellaneous users or the third party users, unauthorized users are going to be accessing your network or your data. Getting the hacker is going to be hacking the data in the sense they are hacking the first, they listen the channel. Already you have listen in the CN, computer networks, three-way handshake protocol. They just listen it. They listen the network. Listen the network means they observe under which router it is going to be, what is the packets is going on, what is the size of the packet, how the payload is applied, which packet they are using, IPv4 or IPv6, how the network is going on in a secure manner or in the private network, which are the protocols they are using. Everything the hacker going to be observe that. So how we can be, how best will be provide the security will be just little bit of discuss in this topic. So Amazon Cloud has no perimeter. Instead of EC2 provide security groups that define a firewall. So firewall, many times you heard the keyword firewall. Firewall is like a wall between the internet and the computer, or between the internet and your laptop, or internet to the user. How good they will be? They will be every time, because nowadays whatever those who are using Windows operating systems, they have every time they are accessing whether they want to allow yes, 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 for any small software, also for any small setting. If you change it, any unauthorized site, if you visit it, automatically it shows a different alerts that they are going to be have restricted through the firewall. The right traffic rules governing what traffic can reach virtual servers in that group. So let me see a scenario where more mainly focus this security groups as if they were virtual network segments protected by a firewall. They have a virtual network segments. This virtual network segments protected by a firewall. Now, even though they most definitely are not virtual networks segments, because the following reasons. The first reason is, say for example, two servers in two different Amazon EC2 availability zones can be operated in the same security group. The first is there is a one problem why they are not allowing a virtual network segment to access that one. These two servers in two different Amazon EC2 availability zones can operate in the same security group. They belong. Same security group means, for example, if you take an EC2 server, EC2 server having a, say for example, two groups. One is the developer group, another is the tester group. So these two are accessing the same, even though it is a different zones, they are accessing the same security group, because developer and testers or belong to the same project. So because of that, they are definitely not allow this firewall. A server may belong more than one security group. That's damn sure. A server may belongs to more than one security group, because it is a two different server. Server one can be have a may belongs to developer. The same server can be belong to another sort of security group. Now, if you see the third one, servers in the same security group may not be able to talk each other. May not be talk to each other. Means same security group servers may not be able to talk to each other at all because of the firewall. Servers in the same network segment may not share any IP characteristics, because there is a chances to lose their project credentials, to miss their project data. Because of that, servers in the same network segment itself, they not share any IP characteristics because of different classes address spaces. Like we have A, B, C, D classes are there in CN already has studied that 255.255.55.55. No server. You see the last bullet. No server in the EC2 can see the network traffic bound for other servers. That is not necessarily true for other cloud, other cloud systems. If you try placing your virtual Linux server in any Prometheus modes, the only network traffic you will see is traffic originating from, or it is going to be destined for your server. So this example, I will show you one small figure so that you can understand little bit more about all these points. All these points, whatever you have, see here, it will be more in a graphical representation manner. See, for EC2, these are the different servers. One is web tier, one server for one web tier, application tier, another server, database is another server. These are the different EC2s. We have a firewall. This is firewall. In this firewall, they are going to have the different ports, 80 or can be used 443 only, open to the internet. So they cannot be accessed SSH. This is one sort of the secure socket, the layers, what we have. Engineering staff not access this application type, which acts as bastion. Authorized third parties can be granted SSH. This is the secure socket layer, secure socket access to select AWS resources such as database type. So this will be all other internet ports blocked by default. So if you're not access 80 or 443, other than that, if you access, it will be blocked. So such type of privileges, such type of all privileges, they are going to be restricted by this firewall. So because of this reasons, one may be one tier of people, another tier of people, another tier of people. Even though if you are using the same server or different servers, it will be a more restricted because of security reasons. So that's what it is discussed in the previous slide. Even though it is a security, allows you virtual network segments, not the virtual segment actually, because of these following reasons. So if you see, this is the firewall rules. Firewall is nothing but to protect the perimeter of one or more network segments. If you see in this figure, here it is a 3-tier, like the Unix architecture. We have 3-tier architecture. The first is the database. The second is the applications where, and the front end, the users, load balancers. In between this one, for one layer to another layer, from this to this or from this to this, every time the firewalls will be activated to restrict the total access. Directly can't be accessed. So because of some privileges, every time. Another best example, if you take any internet banking going to be accessed only by some the browsers. The browsers has to be again some restrictions, the firewalls. If you not properly set the settings in the browser, not be allowed to the websites of any internet bank. Again, if you enter into the internet bank, again they're asking some the initial credentials. Again, if you are going to be transfer any money or do any changes, managing your beneficiaries, anything, again they're asking the transaction password. So different levels, at each level they are going to be protecting each level. Immediately if you are moving from one screen to another screen, we are getting some message that you have operated the third party user, you had it so and so. Like every time the firewall is alerting the users so that everyone can be accessed easily, right? So this is firewalls rules where it is will be. And now here in the firewalls, mainly focus, the firewalls can be protects over the protocols. As I already said that network security is nothing but in the network layer, mainly focus on protocols. The HTTP, the HTTPS is a new versions. S is nothing but the secure, and sometimes in the local they can be used the file transfer protocol. So this network segments or broader systems such as like previously we have seen in the figure, load balancers will be there. That a route traffic into a DMZ, the domain basic, different zones, domain zones will be there protected by another firewall. Finally, with the domain zones, application servers that make databases and other requests across a third firewall into protected system and a highly sensitive internet network. See, for these 3 different layers of architecture, three different layers, three different protocols are going to be protecting this, right? So this is how the total. This is the figure. Just now we have seen it, three layers. Now there is no network segments and perimeters. How is the Zen has to take care of the Zen technology is take care of the group rules. This is one type of group, load balancer groups. This is application server group. This is database server group. So every user is going to be accessing based on the groups they divided. Based on the groups, they are going to be access the total privileges. So here Zen will be acted as a one type of firewall where they can protect with this. Okay. So each virtual server occupies the same level on the network with traffic managed through a security group definition. There are no network segments and there is no perimeter. So for that, only we require is a membership in the same group does not provide any privileges access to other servers. Only if you take membership means only you can access limited. If you have a Gmail account, you can access only little bit of. You can't access more than that, 15 GB more than that, even though you have a membership. It's a based on the membership also, the privileges will be varies. If it is a normal membership, it's having little membership privileges. If it is a more, it is a beyond that. So finally, an individual server can be a member of multiple security groups, and the rules of a given server are simply union of the rules. Union of the rules in the sense all sort of union, all sort of users assigned to all groups, of which the server is a member. So only the servers, individual servers can be have a member. They can have a multiple security groups. They can have the more privileges compared with the individual. So as I said, I explained you the protocol ports we are using 80 and 443 for broader security group, and for DMH security of this listens. First they listen the traffic from the broader group, border group on the ports 80 and 443, and internal security group that listens traffic port and under the 3306 from DMH. So these are the three steps will be done as shown a figure in the figure. Like the shake protocol is there, three handshake protocol. First they will be send and will be listen and again get back the acknowledgement. The same thing here also. So the advantages of this security architectures, or because you have control the firewalls remotely, firewalls whatever you have, it's a controlling over there, firewalls remotely. So an individual does not have a single target to attack. So because of this physical firewall, you don't have the opportunity to accidentally destroy your network tools and thus permanently remove everyone's access to a given network segment. Right? These are the two advantages. One is firewalls rules, because of that intruder does not have a single target to attack, and we have an opportunity once we can't destroy automatically any network rules. Right? These are the two advantages. And some of the best practices, if you see in this network security, is we can run only one network service on any virtual machine. That is a plus necessary administrative services is there. Only one network service we can run. Don't open up direct access to your most sensitive data, like whatever we have in the Zoom. This is the one best example. Open only the ports absolutely necessary to support server services, and we have a limited access to your services to clients who need to access them. Even if you are not doing load balancing, use a reverse proxy, and we can have a dynamic nature of the cloud, automated your security, and that's it. So these are some of the best practices where in the network security we can add. So that's about the network security part. Only one subheading we have covered, that is the firewalls rules up to this. And tomorrow we'll be continue this topic, network intrusion detection.